Hello there and welcome
to the new channel.
Here to help you see
the new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansala.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamid.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebostillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan. Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldons.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Healthline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and more.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. Sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel the hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We're here to help you see the new you. My name is Michelle Mras, and welcome to episode 5 of Mental Shift. Well, good evening to everyone in the U.S. and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. I'm so glad you joined us today on Mental Shift because I have an amazing guest with me, and I can't wait for you to meet him. He is, well, I call him the Audiobook Wizard. But as a child, Richard Rieman wanted to be Superman, but he couldn't fly. So he decided to be Clark Kent instead and had a long and successful career as a radio news reporter and anchor. You will hear that when you hear his voices. So Richard then became the Audiobook Wizard, narrating and producing hundreds of audiobooks and authoring the award-winning book, The Author's Guide to Audiobook Creation. And you can take a peek at it right there, coming up on the screen. Then, yes, Imagination Storybooks. And then he has his book, The Author's Guide to Audiobook Creation. There you go. So to fill a gap in the audiobook world, Richard founded the Imagination Storybooks, a nonprofit that creates audiobooks to be accessible to all children, which includes audio description of the wonderful illustrations. And I wanted him on the show today because I wanted to share this nonprofit and just his amazing talent and his just enormous, beautiful heart that he shares with the world. Please welcome my friend, Richard Reeman.
Thank you, Michelle. It's really great to be here with you.
I'm so glad you're here. You do know I just love your voice, and I will listen to you all night.
Yeah, I've got the professional microphone here, so that helps.
Well, Richard, I mean, you wanted to be Superman, and then you settled to be Clark Kent. What does that mean?
Well, it all started in the library. I'm from a family of 10 kids, so we didn't have a lot of money for books. And I discovered the library when I was about 5 years old. And I was amazed. I could see all these books, and my sister told me that you can take 5 of them home for free. And I was just so excited. And that's what got me into books and storytellers. So that's how it all began. And by the 2nd grade, I was writing stories and I put my classmates' names in them, and they paid me 5 cents to read them. So that's how I got my comic book money. I was a professional writer when I was 7 years old.
Now, so you started writing, you were creating stories for your friends, putting their names into the stories. I kind of do that with music. I'll sing and change all the lyrics in a song. Mm-hmm. But that's something else that when you did those stories, did you tell them out live? Because what they all don't know about you and why we call you the Audiobook Wizard is your voice. You can change your voice to whatever character. And I've seen you pop in from a 6-year-old kid to, an 89-year-old wizard. So when did that gift show up for you? When did you realize you had it?
Well, I did get into acting in high school and college. And it was just natural for me to become characters with voices. And really, it led me into a career. First, I was going to be on camera and television, but then I found success in radio news. So I was a news anchor and correspondent and Washington bureau chief, actually, for the RKO radio networks. I traveled with President Reagan around the world, stopping in places like in the Bali, Indonesia, and Tokyo and Seoul, just on one trip, traveling with the president in the press plane. So I had a really nice, interesting radio news career. That set me up for experience for audiobook narration, because I was comfortable telling stories in front of a microphone. So I just added the characters when the time came for me to do as many as 35 different voices in one book. That's that was the most I've ever done.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of voices. I'm so impressed with myself when I can just drop into my radio voice, was welcome to KCMJ, that kind of thing. I'm excited about that. But 30-something voices. Wow.
You know, you start with your regular voice, and then you have to find character voices. And a little secret, you steal them. Basically, I needed a wizard voice for a video game I was in. And I went to Harry Potter, of course, Ollivander's Wand Shop. Harry, so good to see you, Harry. You know, I gave your parents their wand. You know, and doing books like having to be a cowboy in a ghost story.
Be a cowboy. Be a cowboy.
Okay. Hey, Neil, it's great seeing you now. And you're looking really good considering you've been dead for 10 years. So, yeah. And you know, you mentioned the little boy voice that I use. And for the haunted furniture store book that I did, you know, did that chair just talk to me? And, you know, what I've used in the past is my storyteller voice, the old storyteller. Once upon a time, there was a fairy who had but one tooth, and this is the story of how she became the Tooth Fairy.
Okay, can I just shut up and you just keep talking? What's so amazing about that, for those of you who are watching, you want to share this live stream with people because Richard has not even unfolded yet. You don't know more, but wait till you learn more about Richard, because what's so beautiful about it is, did you notice how his face changes with every voice? So there's something about imagination, and that's why the title of his nonprofit, everything is Imagination Storybooks, Imagination Video Books, because the imagination is where everything starts. So when he has that voice, you see them, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I'm picturing them in my mind. And one of the secrets of narrating audiobooks is that you're telling a story. You really want to draw one person in who is watching a video or listening to the audio and just tell the story to them, not talking to everybody out there in the audience. You know, most podcasters are, you know, shouting out to the world, when being more intimate means you connect better. And when you connect better, people can imagine things better.
Just beautiful. So for those of you who are out there and you're like, that was amazing what Richard just did, how he changed his voice and how he did this and how he did that. It's a craft. It's a craft that he's been working on. I mean, think, he started with stories and then he left stories, went into news, went into all this other like really serious stuff, and then came back to his stories. Why? Because he built his art. He grew his voice and the different voices of all the different people he met on his journey. Right, Richard?
Yes. And as you mentioned, I both narrated and produced hundreds of audiobooks. And that's what got me on the road to what I'm doing now with the nonprofit, because there was a gap in the audiobook world. Children's picture books don't make good audiobooks because you're missing half the story. You know, you don't see the pictures in audio. So I was thinking, how could I fill that gap? Because I have a background, I have many blind friends because I spent time as a ski instructor for blind skiers in the Midwest. I was actually a racing instructor for one of the blind skiers. And so I got to know the community, and I asked my friends, okay, how can we make this accessible? And they talked to me about audio description. Audio description is a new thing that is growing fast for movies, for TV shows, for live plays, live theater. So I decided to add audio descriptions of the images to the books. And that way, the blind and low vision children can get the experience of these books in a way they never could before. One of my narrators on my volunteer list happens to be blind herself. And I was talking to her recently, and she said, she started to cry. She said, I so much wish that I would have had access to something like this when I was 4 years old or 5 years old, before chapter audiobooks, could mean something to me. So I knew I was on the right track.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, with audiobooks and what you do, for the audience listening, we have a sampling that we will show after the first break, because you have to experience these books in order to understand the magnitude of this nonprofit that Richard has started, because it will shift the world. And it's not just for children who have low vision, and honestly, anyone will enjoy this. Think of all the people out there who, growing up as a mom, and me being a mommy, I knew a lot of people who said, I can't really read to my kids. I'm not really good at this. Now you have it. Now you have not only a descriptor, but you have the voice. But it brings you so deep into the story that you can feel, for me, I can feel the texture on the page. I can feel it from just the descriptions of what they're describing on the page. And when I saw that, Richard, I thought, this is phenomenal. You would transcribe this kind of thing even to like video games, because there's some kids who can't see it, but they play it anyways. They can hear the noises, what it's ever happening. But the way those books are described, makes it a texture.
And the project has evolved now to be more than just an audio file, because for two reasons. Number one, not all children are totally blind. Some are partially sighted, so they can see something. So I have added images in the video that you'll see coming up that show the story. And I've also added captions so that deaf children can read along with the book and the descriptions that are in the video. So it's making children's books accessible, really, for the first time.
Yeah, and I'm thinking we need to rename you from the Audiobook Wizard to the Storybook Wizard.
Yeah.
It's much broader.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is about these books and what you're bringing to the world, if you're interested in what Richard is doing and what his foundation is bringing to the world, this nonprofit, go to his website. Yes, awesome voices, Michael. Go to the website, L&B Connectors. Thank you so much. Yes, Richard is amazing. But go to the website we'll put it down here on the bottom. Put the website down there so you can go to Imagination Video Books. And there is a donate button. You can help bring books like this to the hands and the warm hearts of the children, that you will change their lives. You wait till the break, and then you'll see what's coming, and you will be amazed at what Imagination Video Books is bringing as this nonprofit. It's baffling to me that it has not been developed. When I talked to Richard about a year ago, and he said he was doing this, I went, no one's doing this already? And he said, no. I went, how can we be in 2020 at the time, and no one has thought of this? You have brought something to the world that we didn't even realize was missing.
Well, and one of the important things is that I want to make sure these videos are free for every child that's out there. There are over 350,000 blind children under the age of 8 in the United States. There are more children under the age of 8 who are deaf or hard of hearing. And so this is going to reach, I hope, an enormous audience.
It will. And with the help of the viewers here on TNC, I hope it goes completely around the world and back again. Because another thing I saw as a purpose with your books is growing up in the Philippines. As you can tell, I don't have much of an accent. I learned English from listening. I was back when those big records and you would listen to the entire Disney story, on the record. I would mimic the voices on those storybooks because I loved the soothingness of it. It would soothe me, so I would learn it for myself. And as I grew older, I realized a lot of the intonations and the way I speak is because I was listening to other people use the language.
Mm-hmm.
This book, your audiobooks, and the way they describe the motion and using the words as they move in the wind, it will teach language to people who are using English as a second language, or third or fourth or fifth.
And these video books that I'm creating, sighted people will enjoy them too. Kids can watch them on a car trip, that type of thing, for entertainment. They're about 10 to 15 minutes long, so it's not a huge time commitment. But our commitment is to create 200 of these video books in the coming year, in 2021. So that's my mission.
We'll help you with that mission because it's beautiful. And once everyone sees and hears it, they'll realize, oh my goodness, I can't believe this doesn't exist, and it should be everywhere. The gift that you're bringing to the world, I'm saying it to the world, is because, I'm a big storyteller, and I'm a big believer in lessons being taught through stories, and that when it went away, there's a generation where we stopped listening to grandma and grandpa tell stories, and we don't share those stories with children. And so they're growing up without stories. I believe your books are more than visual, audio. It's more than this, because what it will do when it comes into mainstream and people just start watching and hearing their books the way you present them, it will teach people how to tell stories again.
And the stories that we're after are those that are messages of hope, messages of empowerment, happiness, dealing with bullies, dealing with emotions, all of those things. So it's not just pure entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
There is a kind message behind each one of the books we create.
Yeah. These are a few of my favorite things. Yeah, your stories are phenomenal. And I was blessed to be able to do at least one of those books. And I'm excited to actually hear the end result of it. I just did it. But what's so beautiful about it is a friend of ours. Is she the one that's in the video that we're sharing later?
Terry Lynn Moore, yes, is in the video. Yeah.
She has a voice like silk. Like Richard, I can listen to her all night and listen to him all night because their voices are just simply beautiful. They will calm the savage beast. It doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in. If you hear those voices and you hear them together in the book that we're going to share with you later, you will understand the magnitude of what imagination video books will bring to the world, and that you can be a part and help with it. Right, Richard?
Absolutely. Anyone who donates $25 or more will become a sponsor of one of these video books. They'll be credited in the audio and the text as just the way PBS does it. This video book was made possible through the donation of, Michelle Mras. And so, you can have this as part of your legacy too. To have sponsored one of these video books.
Not only one.
Yes.
You're after 100 or more. So yeah, we need to do more than that. Well, the other thing I wanted to ask you, I'm going to ask you the question before we go on break.
Okay.
When you do this, when you're doing the donations, have you ever thought about going to libraries and stuff like that to see if they would be willing to sponsor, like this book was sponsored by this library or this district, or
the libraries have very tight budgets and you have to approach them almost one at a time. So my mission before reaching the libraries is to go to corporate sponsors to sponsor this program, because I think that will make a huge difference in the funding for this. Right now I have volunteers from the Colorado Media School, some interns who help me produce the video portion. I'm paying professional audio description writers who know exactly how to describe these images. And basically, we have narrators who have volunteered their services. I have over 50 professional narrators who say they will add their voices as a contribution to the project. So we keep expenses very low per book, but it still takes some funding to keep the wheels rolling.
Oh, and when they see this video after the break, they will understand the dire need for donations for each of these books. If you're a corporation, if you're a person out there, click that button on the website and donate a book or 2 or 3 or 4 or more. imaginationvideobooks.org, because it's a very passionate thing for me too. I get very excited, and I can't wait for them to see the video after the break. So, Richard, do you mind? We're going to take a mini break here. And then we'll come right back to you, and then we'll continue more on what you do with the video audiobooks, and we'll share the video so they can see what we're talking about.
Sounds great.
Okay. Well, welcome back. The following shows that I'll be bringing to you and talking about are here to help you see the new you. The following times I will be giving you are all provided in Philippine time. Every Monday through Friday, The Big Picture at 7 p.m. Mondays, TNC The Talk at noon, Awesome Day at 2:30 p.m., The Puppet Stories at 5:30 p.m., and U-Turn also on Monday and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. The Home Buyers also on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Our Tuesday shows are Foreign Affairs at 10:30 a.m., Well Home also on Saturdays and 2:30 p.m., Market Leaders also on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. HR Hotline also on Thursday and Saturday at 4 p.m. Our Wednesday shows are Cyber Next at noon, Healthline at 4, Couple Goals at 5:30 p.m. Of course, Mental Shift. You're watching it now. Also on Fridays at 10:30 a.m. After Shift also on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Our Thursday shows are YOLO at 8:30 p.m. TNC Marketplace also on Fridays at 10 p.m. Our Friday shows are Tech U at 2:30 p.m., Danny Art Show at 5:30 p.m. On Saturdays, we have a fabulous lineup of Women at Work at 9 a.m., COVID Stories at 10:30 a.m., Family Business at 4 p.m., Usapang Beauty at 5:30 p.m., Win Within at 8:30 p.m., The Fourth Project at 10 p.m. Also catch our TNC original shows that alternate at 7 p.m. It's one day, which is live storytelling, and TNC Town Hall, where you will be able to speak directly to our TNC founders. So please turn in to be inspired, encourage, and to learn to see the new you. And welcome back. We're back on Mental Shift, and my name is Michelle Mras, and today my guest is Richard Reeman. Richard, please come back.
Hi, I'm back.
Welcome back, Audiobook Wizard.
Thank you so much.
I want a wand. I have to tell a quick story on you because I met Richard at a boot camp in Denver. So basically it was a leadership business boot camp out in Denver. And he did that voice and the whole room kind of got quiet. We all went, ah! We all turned into 8-year-old kids. It was like, talk some more. And he's like, I'd like to eat my dinner now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell. I just love what I do. I mean, at my age, I can be an entertainer. I can be a storyteller. It's just, and working with the interns I have from the Colorado Media School. I mean, this is all just a wonderful thing that I'm able to do at this point in my career.
Well, and that's the other thing you're saying at this point in your career and at your age, so many people, they do, oh, I'm 21 and I don't know what I'm going to do. Surprise. A lot of us don't. But what happens is you do the things that you love and they come together and, as in Richard's case, accumulated into this beautiful gift that he's bringing to the world it's a legacy. It will be here forever. And everyone will always remember that it was Richard Reeman who brought it to the world. And he's like, no, don't think about that. But yes, that's what's happened because he started something that no one ever thought of. So if you're out there and you're wondering, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life, do what you love. Do a little bit of it every day and it will grow into what you love. Find where that fits into the world and create something that hasn't even been discovered yet. Richard was doing something and thinking, yeah, it must be out there, until he talked to a community that he happened to be working with. And they went, we don't have this. We didn't have it as a child. We need it. Poof.
Yeah.
You never know what your gift is bringing. You never know how long it's going to take to expand, to grow, to be the magnificent gift and flower that it is. So as I'm getting all excited about this, please, we will, as promised, we'll show you the video so you can have just a taste of what Richard's Imagination Video Books nonprofit is bringing to the world, and you can be part of it.
This is a sample.
This is just a sample.
Imagination Storybooks presents A Mother's Love, the story of the Midnight Angel. Written by Marilee Joy Mayfield. Illustrated by Tracy LaRue Hone. Read by Terry Lynn Moore and Richard Reeman. Audio description by Bonnie Barlow. On the cover, a woman in a blue gown leans down and kisses the forehead of a girl asleep in bed. A teddy bear is tucked in beside her under the covers. Under a low, round moon, almost bare tree branches hold a few colorful leaves. The rest are scattered on the ground. Snow weighs down evergreen branches. A rabbit's shadow is cast behind it as it sits on a knoll gazing at a 2-story greenhouse.
As day turns into evening and the pale moon finds its place, you might feel the slightest flutter, like soft petals on your face. And when you hear leaves rustling, a mouse runs a well-worn trail, though you'll never see his eyes, his whiskers, or his tail. Deep in a hidden forest, seedlings grow without a sound. but your eyes won't see their presence till their stems pop through the ground.
Patches of snow are melting, and on a carpet of leaves, a gray mouse sits before a green sprouting bud.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Well, and if you notice, the audio description makes you look at the pictures so closely to see, where's the rabbit? Oh, okay, there's the rabbit, and the two-story greenhouse, oh, it's over there. So sighted children can enjoy these as well as the blind and low vision children and deaf children that these videos are aimed at.
I stop saying children because I enjoy that. But I encourage those of you who are watching us live right now, there will always be the saved version. It will be up on YouTube also. So you can come back, and if you want to share this with a friend and say, I just saw the most magnificent thing. There's a video on Michelle's mental shift that shows on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Philippine time, 7:30 p.m. US time, Mountain time. You can come to this point. It's about 35 minutes into the show and show them the video of the storybook so they can understand what you're talking about. And maybe together you can come together and go to the website and donate as a family or an institution or an organization, because these books, you saw what they look like, what they sound like. Think of the sound, the audio, the visuals, the descriptions that they have to be written. And they're not just Joey's walking down the street. No, you can feel the description. It takes a lot to put this book together. It's not just a normal word book like we're used to. It takes a lot. And in order to get to his, beyond Richard's goal, we need people like you who saw the magic of that book. And if you really want to test it, if you have children, let them listen to just that little segment, that 1 minute, 30 seconds that we showed you, and ask your children, what do they think?
I'm in the process now of putting these books up on a YouTube children's channel, Imagination Storybooks channel that we're building right now. So people will have, free access to these video books. And this week, the American Council for the Blind, decided that they are going to list these books along with the movies that have audio description and the TV shows that have audio description on the Audio Description Association website. So it's where a lot of people go who have vision issues to find which things have audio description for them. And these books are also going to be found there.
Well, and I'm so sentimental about your books. And one of the reasons is I'm a huge reader. I love to read, and I devour books. I'm a lot like my husband, but my mother-in-law, I wrote a book about her, Eat, Drink, and Be Merry. That's my TED Talk, was about her. She was a voracious reader, but when she was diagnosed with leukemia, the after effects of all of the chemicals and everything of her body degenerating from all this cancer, she lost her vision. And so she first went to big print books. And then when she couldn't see those anymore, she went to audiobooks, but it wasn't the same. And to have books like yours, even in the hands of people who have lost their vision due to some other illness, it brings the color back into their world. I remember that was one of the things she told me, is she missed seeing it in her head, a story. And then this, we would be able to describe it. She would be able to hold it and hear it and still feel the colors and still feel the wind in the air. And I see such a larger picture to your notebook, because I've met so many and I've loved so many people who've lost their ability to see or hear. And you've got them both. And it brings tears to my eyes of how many lives that you will change. Yes, these are children's books, but when you've lost your ability to see and you miss the world, these books will bring it back. Even in the simple baby stories of love and hope, right?
Yep. And this is for, blind adults to show to their sighted children and grandchildren. So, yes, I mean, we're going to reach a huge audience out there worldwide, not just in the U.S. Our future plans will include other language editions of these videos. So we're going to expand this once we really get it going.
Yay! I like big picture thoughts. Well, because right now you are talking to an international audience. You're talking to people around the world, and they're thinking, is it only in English? Well, right now it is, but with your help.
Yeah.
It be your language.
In the next year, we're going to start, adding different languages. I'm already lining up narrators who speak Spanish and French and Italian, and hopefully we can find somebody from the Philippines because obviously we're building an audience right here for it.
Exactly. I'm so excited for what you've brought to the world, and I'm so glad that you were doing skiing with blind children. I mean,
yes.
Skiing, I can see and I'm afraid to ski. So maybe actually that might help if I couldn't see the mountain. But I'm thinking, and you also said racing?
Yes, we actually had one of the teenage girls who wanted to go around the gates and be a racer. So I would ski right behind her and tell her left, right. And she would make these wide turns around the gates. It was giant slalom, as they call it, not the slalom where you have to move really fast. And she built up a lot of speed, and I had to stay with her, so it helped my skiing too. And she ended up going to the National Disability Olympics in Winter Park, Colorado. So the Special Olympics. So that's one of the things that I'm very proud of. And it just showed me that, if a blind person can ski and race, why are we complaining about things? It's just amazing.
I was just about to say that. You introduced me to a wonderful woman who's been pretty much, she had low vision as a child, and now she's completely blind, and she can do more than you could ever imagine your average human says they can do. And so when I hear, impaired, I think we're more impaired because we think we know.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what do you mean by that? I said, you see clearer without sight than your average person sees with sight, because you're seeing the inside, you're seeing the heart, you're hearing the inflection, you're feeling that emotion. And we get so sighted folks, we get blinded by the fact that we judge books by the cover.
Mm-hmm. And Gail Hamilton, you're speaking of.
I didn't know about the
she is an author, a speaker,
an opera singer,
and a member of the board of the Imagination Video Books nonprofit.
Good. And she's also Miss Colorado.
She was, Miss Senior Colorado a few years ago, and that not for people with challenges. That was, for everyone, sighted and unsighted.
She competed as the only blind person on that stage, and she had to move and walk and perform and do everything the same. And when I heard her sing, I started crying. Voice like an angel.
And these are the quality of the people that I'm getting to meet and have as part of this project. So I am really honored to have people like yourself as narrators for some of these books, because it has to sound professional. It has to look professional. So we're always looking for professional narrators to narrate these books. And also want to mention that if you've got any authors of children's books in your audience, please have them contact me and we can see about creating a video version of their children's books.
Oh, that's lovely. If you ever need a singer for any of your books, you let me know.
I will.
I was a professional mommy singer to my children.
Well, I did King Arthur and Camelot, so I've done a little singing myself.
I'm a Mary Poppins kind of singer when it comes to kids' books, but it's about putting yourself into the character, and you are in the other character when you become that new voice. And I'm thinking of all the people who are watching, and you out there who said, I really like what Richard just did with those voices, and I'm going to go play with my voice and do that. Do it. You never know what you can and cannot do until you at least attempt it, but not attempt it once. Do it multiple times. Richard's been doing it for many, many years, and I've been playing with my voice for many, many years. But what happens is you find your niche, you find your way. If you are thinking about writing a storybook for children and you're like, I don't know if I can really do this, write it and then let Richard know about it. And maybe it may just skip the print part and go straight into video.
Yeah, we can do that.
I know, much easier actually.
And much cheaper.
Yes.
To print 1,000 copies of your book. So and people interested in being an audiobook narrator, Audible has a website, acx.com, that anyone can go to and audition for books that are looking for narrators. So acx.com is where you can find out about how to become an audiobook narrator yourself.
acx.com. There, I wrote it down. Right. Okay, well, we're going to break for a commercial and then we'll come back and we will finish up with wonderful thoughts and a couple of voices from Richard. So stay tuned. Richard, stay there. Welcome back to Mental Shift. My name is Michelle Mras, and I am live streaming straight from Colorado, USA. My guest today is my dear friend, Richard Reeman. He is also from Colorado, but Denver. He's in the big city, the Mile High City. Please welcome back, Richard.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Great to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. I would love for you, for those who missed you at the very beginning of the show, to hear your three voices you shared with us. First,
yes, go ahead.
So first, the little boy, we'd like to hear him.
You'd like to hear my 8-year-old boy who has a sense of wonder about things. I mean, it's amazing. Look at all these books out in the world, and I can read any of them? That's incredible.
I love that. Okay, and then the next voice is the cowboy. Do you want to share the cowboy? Do you want to share another one? But I think from Colorado, you could be the cowboy again.
Well, yeah. I mean, the cowboy is just kind of a variation of a Southern accent. You know, the way they talk about their horses, as if they're their girlfriends, and you know, really, it's great being a cowboy. You know, you can wear boots here in Colorado and get away with it.
Okay, and then finally, the voice that makes me go crazy, because the first time I heard you do it, Richard he's such a soft-spoken man, and then when he goes up and he just turns into this other character, his body language changes, his expressions change, everything about him changes. And I heard this first voice from him.
The Audiobook Wizard, taken directly from Harry Potter. And the wizard speaks in a higher pitch voice and has this kind of little waver in his voice as he speaks, because, you know, being a wizard, you get to be pretty old.
Richard, thank you so much for entertaining my desire to hear your multiple voices. I'm so thrilled. And to hear you and Terry Lynn in that book segment that I told you, for those of you who just tuned in, we showed 1 minute and 30 seconds of one of the video books with the descriptors and everything. And the two voices that are talking are friends of mine, Terry Lynn and Richard. Go back to the 35-minute point and listen. If you are watching right now live and you missed it, go back and find the recording on YouTube. Mental Shift, Michelle Mras, episode 5, Richard Reeman, Audiobook Wizard. And that way you can hear it and realize the magnitude of what this nonprofit that Richard has started for the visually impaired and the sight impaired. He says children, but he's starting with children's books. I say for everyone who missed out on real storytelling as a child.
Thank you. And your own narration of a book is in production now and will be available soon. So, of course, I will send you the link to where your viewers can find the book that you narrated.
Oh, that would be awesome. If I Were Your Angel.
Yes.
I love that. I cried when I said it. So I was like, Richard, is it okay? Because I said it and I was kind of crying through it. I'm only used to narrating my own books. So Richard helped me narrate my first book of Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, my TED Talk. And I'll be going back for him, I hope, to help me do the next book and the next book and the next book in between all the children's books that I'm going to ask to be narrating.
Mm-hmm.
So, Richard, what is your message to the world about giving back to the world the way you are, and how can they reach you on your website for the imaginationvideobooks.org?
Yes. imaginationvideobooks.org is the website. There you'll see some more examples of what we're producing, and also the donate button is there if you find it in your heart to support this project. My message is for everyone, and that is, be a storyteller yourself. Read to your children, read to your grandchildren, because it's so important when they're at a very young age to tell stories to them that they can get excited about and share the storytelling experience with you. So read to your kids. That's the message I think I would leave with everyone.
And that's a beautiful message to leave for everyone. And, pick up a book. Pick up a book. Read to yourself. We forget our imaginations, and we've gotten, we're used to movies telling us things and showing us how they see it. How often have you read a book and then saw the movie and went, that's not how I saw it? That's why reading to your children is such an important thing to do. You help create visual pictures in their minds that they can create their own visual pictures in their minds, that they think independently of whatever else is happening. They can do, you know what? That was a cool way of doing it, but I see it this way. And when to see a child's eyes light up when they see something that no one else can see, it's like they're seeing fairies and magical creatures and wizards coming around. And I don't care who you are, when you hear a wizard, you get giggly. More than likely, you're going to get giggly.
So yes, we wizards have that effect. And I would also say this is your legacy for your family. If you read these storybooks to your children, they'll remember that you read them these stories. So that could be part of your legacy.
Keep going. Well, people, I think we've lost we haven't lost it. We've forgotten the gift of speaking, the gift of sharing our hearts and reading stories that move us. And we get in front of, what is it called? The boob tube, watching the TV and letting it take away our imagination. That's someone else's imagination. Close your eyes and listen and reimagine it for yourself. That's where the storybooks come from. That's where the storytellers come from the people who have been able to take whatever they see and recreate it in their minds. Is that you? Are we waiting for you to tell your story? Maybe it is. Right, Richard?
Right. Absolutely.
I say this because it's mental shift. We talk about the shifts that we've had in our lives and how we realize that, I didn't want to do this anymore. I want to do this. And with you had this mental shift very young that I want to tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
To make money, you shifted to go in the news and do stuff like that. But when you realize, this isn't where I want to be, I want to come back to my stories, you shift again.
Right.
We don't have to stay in our shift. We can continually shift through our lifetime. So just because you've stopped doesn't mean you've stopped, okay? You're just rearranging, readjusting, setting your sails and going again. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep moving towards them. Keep shifting because your gift is waiting to truly come out. And once you keep practicing and letting it come out in different ways, I promise you it will bloom. Richard, it's like turned into a gigantic rose garden and it's got everything flowering at this point because he found it. He found it. The mental shift of a lifetime. We all wish for something this big, this beautiful, and this legacy driven as what you've brought with the Imagination video books, because you have changed the world already. And I'm excited to see how it grows in the future and how many countries you touch and get in there with new languages around the world. And I want to be there on your side with you, celebrating all the way up there. So for those of you who are watching Mental Shift right now, and if you're watching, you're thinking, I know people who want to be audiobook narrators, or they have a story that they've told and they're afraid to let it go because they don't know who will take care of it. If you're out there and you're wondering, what shall I do? I've got this talent, but I don't know what to do with it. Or someone in your life that's feeling that same way. Share this episode with them because Richard is a great example of shift, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
In the boom, he's still going shift, shift, shift because all these other ideas are coming around. Be the best version of you. Keep practicing on being the best version of you. Develop your skill. Develop your talent. Listen to Richard's voice. I'm going to make him say one more thing before we go, by the way, in his wizard voice so I can leave on a happy, happy, happy note. But I want you to don't give up on you. Be unapologetically you as you seek out your dream, your vision. And I want you to dream about it. Like the audiobooks, the video books he's created. They're so descriptive. You can feel the wind in the air. You can see the mouse. And you almost can touch the mouse in your imagination. That's how I want you to start imagining your dream. Imagine big, imagine deep, and feel the wind in your hair. Richard, I need you to say something really prophetic as a wizard, like Michelle, here's your wand. I don't care. But
Michelle, you already have a magic wand. Look how many times you've done the mental shift in your career to be so successful. You're on television. You're on stage. You're performing in front of the world. So I think that you're a shining example of a mental shift person.
oh, you know what you just made me think of? Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. You've had it all along.
Yes.
Thank you, Audiobook Wizard. I am feel so blessed that you have joined this show and that you've been able to share your talent with just the audience alone, but to the world with bringing the video books. Please, if you find the kindness in your heart and you want to help children of all children have an experience of real books being told by real storytellers with descriptions, go to the website imaginationvideobooks.org and come back to the video of this, look at the recording on YouTube, get to about the 35-minute point if you want to just watch the video of the book and see what is capable. Dream a little bit and reach out to Richard and see how you all can work together. So, Richard, thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Michelle.
And everyone out there in TV world, internet TV world, please join us on Mental Shift Wednesday and Friday in the Philippines at 10:30 a.m. Or if you're in the United States, Tuesday and Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll see you on Mental Shift next round. Have a great evening, everyone, a great day, everyone, and we'll see you on the next Mental Shift.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.